New York is still small enough to walk across in an afternoon, but loud enough to make you feel the future pressing in from every direction. And right now, beneath these muddy streets, a network of ambition is forming that will reshape the entire world economy. But nobody here knows it yet. It's the early 1800s. The city ends far below where Central Park will one day exist. Everything north of it is countryside, rocky hills, farms, and wandering livestock. Manhattan is not yet a symbol of power. It's a working port town, restless, muddy, ambitious, and already convinced it's destined for more. Let's begin at the southern tip of the island. Before you see the city, you hear it. The creak of wooden ships, the snap of sails, shouts in English, Dutch, German, French, and languages you can't place. New York Harbor is crowded with merchant vessels, fishing boats, ferries, and naval ships. Goods pour in daily: sugar, rum, molasses, tobacco, timber, feeding the city's growing appetite for trade. Immigrants step onto the docks carrying everything they own. Some are hopeful, some are desperate. Many will never leave the city again. This harbor is New York's heartbeat. Every fortune, every failure, every future skyscraper begins here. Move inland and the streets tighten. Lower Manhattan is a maze of narrow lanes laid out long before city planners dreamed of order. Buildings lean close together, their brick walls stained by coal smoke and sea air. Horses clatter over uneven cobblestones. Carts block intersections. The smell of fish, manure, sweat, and smoke hangs constantly in the air. Wall Street is already important, but it doesn't yet look powerful. It's lined with modest buildings, counting houses, and banks where men in plain coats make decisions that will ripple far beyond the city. Nearby stands Federal Hall, where George Washington once took the oath of office. The memory still lingers. New York sees itself not just as a city, but as a national stage. Life in early 1800s, New York happens outdoors. Markets overflow with produce from nearby farms, barrels of salted meat, fresh bread, and live chickens squawking in wooden cages. Vendors shout prices, shoppers haggle loudly. Children weave through the chaos, barefoot and curious. Taverns are everywhere. They're places to drink, yes, but also to argue politics, find work, share news, and start fights. Newspapers are read aloud for those who can't read. Rumors spread faster than facts. This is a city that talks constantly and listens carefully for opportunity. But here's what nobody in these taverns realizes yet. This disorganized, chaotic port town is about to make a single impossible decision, one massive gamble that will make it the richest city in America almost overnight. We'll get to that. But first, you need to understand the forces already shaping these streets. New York likes to think of itself as progressive, but the truth is complicated. Slavery still exists here in the early 1800s. Enslaved people work in homes, shops, and docks. Free black New Yorkers live alongside them, building churches, businesses, and communities, often under constant threat from laws designed to limit their rights. Gradual emancipation laws are in motion, but freedom comes slowly and unevenly. The city's wealth is tied to Southern plantations and Caribbean trade, even as it speaks the language of liberty. New York is learning, awkwardly, imperfectly, what freedom really means. As you head north, the city changes. The Bowery is loud, rough, and alive. It's home to laborers, sailors, performers, and new immigrants. Theaters draw crowds with melodramas and spectacles. Street performers compete for attention. Fights break out. Music spills into the night. This is not the refined city elites want visitors to see, but it's the city as most people experience it. Work is hard, wages are low, accidents are common, but there's a sense that tomorrow might be better than yesterday, and that belief keeps people moving forward. Life here is fragile. Cholera, yellow fever, and smallpox sweep through the city in waves. Clean water is scarce. Sewage flows in open gutters. Fires are a constant threat. capable of destroying entire blocks in hours. When epidemics strike, the wealthy flee north or leave the city entirely. The poor stay behind because they have no choice. And in just a few years, one of these epidemics will kill thousands in a matter of weeks. One in every 20 New Yorkers dead. The wealthy will abandon the streets. The poor will burn bodies in mass graves. And when it's over, the city will emerge more powerful than before. That's how New York works. Catastrophe doesn't stop it. It accelerates it. Yet the city endures. Each disaster reshapes it, forcing new ideas about sanitation, infrastructure, and public responsibility. Walk far enough north and the city simply stops. Beyond the developed streets are farms, forests, rocky outcrops, and dirt roads. Goats graze. Farmers sell milk and vegetables to the city below. Country estates dot the landscape. It's hard to imagine now, but this quiet land will one day become neighborhoods packed with millions of people. The grid system hasn't fully arrived yet, but plans are forming. The city is already dreaming beyond its borders. New York in the early 1800s is not yet polished. It's not clean, it's not orderly, but it is alive. It absorbs people, ideas, money, and conflict, and transforms them into momentum. Every crowded dock, every argument in a tavern, every ship entering the harbor pushes the city closer to something larger than itself. This is New York before the skyscrapers, before Central Park, before subways and steel. But the hunger is already there, and once a city like this starts growing, it never really stops. New York in the early 1800s is not safe. There is no modern police force yet, only night watchmen, constables, and citizen patrols who are often underpaid, drunk, or corrupt. Crime fills the gaps. Pickpockets work the docks. Burglars target warehouses. Counterfeiters thrive. Street gangs begin to form, especially among working-class youths and immigrant groups. They claim neighborhoods, clash violently, and influence local politics long before the famous gangs of later decades. Loyalty is tribal, violence is public, order exists, but barely. Politics here is not quiet or polite. Elections are loud, chaotic affairs. Crowds gather outside polling places. Votes are bought with drinks, food, and promises of work. Political clubs and societies meet in taverns, not halls. Tammany Hall is already rising, positioning itself as the voice of the common man. In return for loyalty, it offers jobs, legal help, and protection, especially to immigrants. Corruption grows alongside opportunity. In New York, power is learned on the street before it's practiced in government. Women keep the city running, but rarely receive credit. They work as seamstresses, laundresses, market sellers, domestic servants, and shopkeepers. Many households depend entirely on women's labor. Widows often run businesses out of necessity. For poor women, survival can mean long hours, dangerous work, or choices judged harshly by society. For wealthier women, life is constrained by rigid expectations, but influence still flows quietly through family, charity, and social networks. New York's future is being built by hands history often ignores. This is a city that reads. Newspapers multiply rapidly, each aligned with political factions or social causes. Pamphlets circulate ideas about democracy, labor rights, religion, and reform. Coffee houses and taverns double as debating halls. Ideas move fast here, faster than laws can contain them. This intellectual ferment helps shape national conversations on freedom, immigration, and economic power. Church bells ring across the city, calling people to worship and reminding them of moral order. Protestant churches dominate, but Catholic congregations grow with immigration, causing tension and suspicion. Religious revivals sweep through periodically, urging repentance in a city obsessed with money and ambition. Faith offers comfort, but also division. Listen closely, and you'll hear it. The hammering of shipbuilders, the chanting of dock workers, the arguments spilling out of taverns at midnight, the carts rattling through narrow streets before dawn. New York is noisy, crowded, uncomfortable, and unstoppable. It is learning how to be a city of strangers, how to survive constant change, how to turn chaos into power. This is not a golden age. It is a becoming age. Every contradiction, wealth and poverty, freedom and oppression, hope and brutality, exists side by side. And from that tension, something enormous is forming. And what happens next, in the 1820s and beyond, will shock even the people building it, because New York is about to explode in ways no one can predict. The question isn't whether it will grow. The question is whether it can survive its own ambition. The New York you know today was born here, in mud, noise, conflict, and ambition. And this is only the beginning. Thank you for taking this journey into the past with us. If you enjoyed exploring history through stories like this, consider subscribing for more immersive tours and liking the video to support the channel. Many more stories of history, change, and discovery are on the way.